identify as a furry, a cat or a dog, whatever. And so yesterday I heard that at least one of our schools in our town has in one of the unisex bathrooms, a litter box for the kids that identify as cats.
So my man Anatoly sent me this morning, and it's the greatest thing ever. So Heidi Ganahl, a Republican candidate for governor of Colorado, she's doubling down on her claims that Colorado school districts are allowing children to identify as animals, a phenomenon she calls furries. Basically, like to double, quadruple down on the homophobia, the transphobia, even though the world is literally on fire and there's so many things the country needs, like a better healthcare system and a better education system and better wages and better benefits and a better domestic trade production system and all of things like that. They're just caught up in hating everyone who isn't like caught up, button up, altar boy in a Catholic church, white type.
There's 14-year-old, 13-year-old kids that are transgenders and furries, and they're in the schools, and the white people are afraid to say anything.
She doubled down on this, again, just to show how far to the right the Republican Party's really going, because while this is funny, these people are literally winning office. So again, I'm going to read some comments that she said and how she's really describing this. But this woman is running for governor, and again, homophobia, racism, transphobia, all that, normal stuff, that wasn't enough. Now she's literally extending it. This is Q type stuff. This is flat earther type stuff. It's like, lady, what are you talking about? Kids wear costumes all the time. Like, little kids can't just show up to school sometimes in a costume to have fun. No. Now they're identifying as animals. It's like,
Supposedly we have privilege. We have white privilege. And I have a friend her friend's daughter is 14 years old, and she's afraid to even say anything to these kids.
Furries?
Yeah, furries.
So Heidi Ganahl says, this is this really weird phenomenon that's happening in middle schools and high schools. It's actually been going on for a couple of years. It's called furries. Ganahl continued at the time. Kids, they've gone through a really tough time and they're struggling. So I have a lot of compassion for kids that are having difficulty right now. But schools tolerating kids dressing up as cats is not appropriate. Again, like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, they're not, what if it's just like a fun day at school? Like schools have field days, schools have different types of dress up days. We had all day. I remember that was some of the coolest days that we had in school, grade school, even high school. It's like, today I get to dress up like this, like that. Especially sometimes kids may wear uniforms. So, I mean, like, what, kids can't have fun? I don't know what the hell is wrong with this lady. But the school district actually responded. So they said, there are no litter boxes in our buildings and students are not allowed to come to school in costume. There are no furries. Our students identifying as such during the school day, the district's spokesperson said. Again, because it's like, no, we have an agenda. We're trying to educate the kids. We're not trying to turn them into furries. Like, this woman's out of her mind. Oh, but you see, this is not a singular phenomenon. No. This is not only happening in Colorado. Again, and this is why I mentioned we can laugh at it, but these people are getting elected.
What about education? What are we doing to our kids? Why are we telling elementary kids that they get to choose their gender this week? Why do we have litter boxes in some of the school districts so kids can pee in them because they identify as a furry? We've lost our minds.
A guy named Scott Jensen, he's a Republican nominee for governor of Minnesota. So check this out. He says something similar, right? So this is what he said. He said, but what about education? Jensen said while speaking to reporters at a recent event. What are we doing to our kids? Why are we telling elementary kids that they get to choose their gender this week? Why do we have litter boxes in some of the school districts so kids can pee in them because they identify as a furry? We've lost our minds. Like, nah, bro, you've lost your mind. What the hell are you talking about? You're running for governor. Again, real issues that are needed in the state of, Minnesota. And you sitting here talking about litter boxes in schools. Ain't nobody putting litter boxes in schools. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, but this is what we dealing with. So let's continue to do what we got to do because we can't let these people in office.